and I'll hit the...
Our beatbox are ready.
Ready?
Yep.
And we are going live in 3, 2, 1.
And we are live here at Locked In.
Back to the buffer.
Yeah, I'm the new Bruce Buffer. But as always, myself, Max, Dave, the Wave.
That's me. That's my new nickname.
Yeah.
On the spot.
It's just I saw your hair. It reminded me of Waves. First thing I thought of.
Yeah,
And then Sean, the producer.
What up?
Of course, now you have the Locked In tee.
Yes.
And
Back
then
on the
JT
saddle.
Money, our co-producer, who works the magic behind the scenes. And now we are joined by the founder of 386 Hoop Teams. Let me try not to butcher this.
Come on.
Tom Fonesca.
How you guys doing?
I nailed it, right?
Yep.
Let's go.
Perfect.
Okay.
We practiced that for like 3 hours and 88 times. He nailed it.
Yeah, I butchered every single one until now too, so we got it.
Hey, Clutch City.
When is this podcast being released, by the way? I know we're live, but not to put on the spot, but there was a big district game tonight. So
I'm making
I
a
don't wanna
call.
outdate us.
Tonight.
Okay, or just in the meantime. Okay, so big district game tonight. We literally came to the studio after Atlantic played NSB, so
Yeah.
we'll talk about that.
Yeah. So that was a great game.
Yeah,
Really
Really
good game,
good
guys.
yeah. I walk in the building, and of course, I see Tom there taking the pictures. What do you make of the game, since that's just kind of the hottest relevant topic right now?
Atlantic just seems like since that first Coast game where they played really well, it just seems like they haven't played up to par since then. They haven't been doing the little things, the diving on the floor.
Yeah, Dave and I coughed at the same time.
We're so
We
locked in, we
exactly-
literally
yeah.
coughed.
But no, I completely agree. When I went to the games early this season, they were blowing teams out by 30, even 40 points. And then it seemed they had a slump. We had Coach Travis and Beans here, kind of talked about it, and we put them on the spot. We said, hey, you guys are in a slump. There's no sugarcoating
It
it.
felt like they were going to get over it. Like they seemed positive.
Yeah.
They knew they were in a slump, and that's the best. When you know there's a problem, you can try to fix it.
Mhm.
So I was like, okay, they're going to be okay. They never fixed it. They never played good ball the rest of the season.
And on top of that, Kevin Beans has missed like the last 4 or 5 games with a hyperextended elbow. So that
Yeah,
didn't-
that's what that was.
that
Right here
didn't
in arm
help.
sleeve.
Yeah.
Because people were wondering, I went obviously live at the game. Shout out to Howard for hooking us up at that table courtside. And people were wondering, is Beans playing? And I'm like, yeah, Beans is playing. I completely forgot he hurt his elbow. So do you think that played a part in his performance tonight? I'm not saying he played bad, but
No, he actually played really well tonight,
Mhm.
but you know, the last 4 or 5 games they've been missing him.
I can't even put my thumb on it. Like,
When you
watching
struggle with Creek, you know that's a problem.
it. They did struggle with Creek, did they? I didn't go to that game, to be honest.
They did.
What, that is just so weird to me. It's like, how do you go from beating teams by 30, 40, you beat Lopez by 35, and then you lose to them? It's either lack of focus, or there's some type of turmoil or
Something
friction.
in the locker room.
But yeah, but when you see them warm up or you see them off, they don't seem like they have that. That's what's confusing to me. So watching it, and I know you go to all the games, I didn't know if there was something you picked up, like, kind of different that standed out.
Usually you can put your finger on something
Yeah.
or 1 or 2 things, but I don't know. It's hard to say. It just seems like a gradual decline since mid-season.
Yeah, but the good thing is they are young, full of sophomores, juniors, so it's pretty much the same
Same
unit
team coming back, same starting 5.
Yeah, and now we have NSB who plays Mainland,
Yep.
and Lopez who plays
Deltona.
Deltona. Those are 2 tough games.
Yeah.
That's why they're championship games.
Oh, crap.
I love it.
So we got the Michigan commit, too, in that, by the way. Colin, he's got to get locked in.
Okay. I liked it. We got Nico and Emery Redo.
Yeah, clutch free throws. I had interviewed him after the game. I'm like, how did you feel hitting those free throws? He's like, I was nervous, and I was nervous.
Maybe we'll put that at the end of this podcast. Like a little gel, put it together, a little peanut butter and jelly sandwich.
You're not the producer. But let's...
What am I doing?
Damn. Let's talk about 386 Hoop Scenes. How, for anyone that doesn't know about it that's listening, can you tell us just the general gist of it, and then of course we'll throw in our...
Yeah, like what was the
questions.
origin of it? How did it get created? What was your mindset on it?
About 3 years ago, I just started taking pictures of my son and some kids that were on. He played for Team 360 in New Smyrna at the time, and one thing led to another, and kids started texting me, emailing me, and it just kind of snowballed from there. You know, the kids, like tonight, there's already been like 4 or 5 kids asking me for pictures afterwards. So
Your pictures on Instagram are amazing, by the way. So how do they find you on Instagram and Twitter? Just 386 Hoop Scenes?
yeah, same 386 Hoop Scenes, Twitter, Instagram, and then Travis Norfolk created a website for us.
Atlantic
And,
assistant coach.
yeah,
Travis,
Atlantic assistant coach, and he's been taking care of that and doing interviews with some players and different things. So
Yeah, so now you've constructed a website. So now, and then that was actually kind of my question towards the website is you guys hand out awards, it seems like, right? Like Player of the Week?
Player of the Week awards for boys and girls we've done since around Christmas break. It was all thrown together in a matter of like a week. He just asked me, hey, what do you think about doing this? And
Supply and demand. Everybody was demanding.
so, and then we're going to do a Player of the Year, do like a small scholarship thing. So,
That's awesome.
yeah. be
That
pretty
is
cool.
awesome. So do you guys sit around like a round table and kind of debate, or you just compare stats?
Compare stats, text back and forth. It's mostly just me and him. Trying to get stats from coaches is like pulling teeth.
I'm,
And then don't you always know that the stats for like the home team is always a little bit different if you're on the road? It's like Nick Hurd in New Smyrna at home averages 14 rebounds. On the road he averages 6.
Oh, absolutely.
It's crazy.
yeah, it's weird. And it was cracking me up to hear Travis on the sidelines because he said a couple things about the bookkeepers because they were arguing about how many timeouts they had.
Yeah, I saw that.
Yeah,
I
and
saw
I
that.
was like, oh man. And just the comments like cracked me up, but at the same time, when the district game, you're serious, the timeout can mean the world.
We were going to go to Lakeland
Yeah,
if
I know.
Atlantic was going.
So that was my locked in, actually, wasn't it?
Yeah, no Lakeland trip for us.
All right, incorrect, locked in.
I was in Lakeland this morning.
Whoa.
Yeah.
First state championship game.
No, I was fixing some audio for a barbecue joint.
Ah, about the same level.
Yeah.
Potato, potato.
Yeah.
So when you started this 386 Hoop Scenes, what was your goal?
I didn't have a goal. I
No,
just
just
started taking pictures, just mostly so I wouldn't yell at the refs. I had to keep myself calm during games. It kept me sane.
Hey, ref, get off your knees. You're blowing the game.
I read that one.
It's a
Now
punchline.
I have locked out list, and a ref was on there. I forget the name of the ref, but if I saw his face, I think I can. Like, I know who it is, and he's locked out. It was probably one of the worst reffing experiences I've ever seen. What did you think of the refs tonight?
I mean, there was some bad calls both ways.
Yeah.
They were calling, 1 minute they call, somebody gets fouled hard and they don't call an intentional foul, and the next minute a ticky-tack foul is called. It's just, they're so inconsistent all the time.
Yeah,
It's ridiculous.
yeah, it's terrible. But and now your son plays for Spruce Creek, correct? And there's a high demand to talk about Spruce Creek tonight. So
I'm sure it had something to do with Travis.
yeah, probably. Hint, hint. Yeah, it did. Okay, so when we're talking about Spruce Creek, what's the program like right now at Creek? And I hate to use the word rebuilding, especially for a high school, because it typically isn't the word you use. But is that the process that they're in? Because usually and typically Spruce Creek has a really good reputation for their sports, especially basketball. So are they just in a slump? Is this a rebuilding process? What do you see and what do you think of the program?
I think it's a little bit of everything. When Coach Joe Giddens left for Mainland, he
Mhm.
took 2 or 3 players with him over there, and then players graduated, and then they had a lot of JV players move up. So they're really young and inexperienced, but and then they got a first-year coach that has never really coached anywhere before. So
Yeah, no, and you actually made a comment about that too. And it's just constructive criticism. It just maybe it's something you gain over experience. It was just minor things that you saw as like just a fan, just seeing that,
Oh yeah, just coaching anything, podcasting. We're almost at a year anniversary of podcasting. I think you and I are better than a year ago.
Oh,
And
yeah,
Coach,
for sure.
I think Coach Tremont will definitely be better a year from now than maybe this year. And it's no slight. I just think the more experienced, the better you get at it.
No, I completely agree. When you talk about the 386 hoop scene, so obviously you started off just taking pictures, as you mentioned, and then players just wanted to see pictures of themselves playing basketball, keep it for memories. And now you're obviously building where multiple players are coming up to you, and everybody knows to check Instagram for scores, for pictures, for videos. Do you think you've started something that could transcend high school sports in the area?
I hope so. I mean, at first it was mostly pictures, only pictures and some videos.
Mhm.
But then probably within the last 6 months, we've started doing, the score updates and the scheduling and stuff, because God knows that the News Journal is not going to talk about basketball.
The News Journal is officially locked out.
I thought they were
did that.
locked out, right?
Yeah, they've been locked out. They're awful.
Yeah, there was playoff basketball today, good games, and there was nothing in the newspaper about it. But yet, the 84th ranked linebacker that's going to graduate in 3 years, they know everything about that guy.
I saw something on Twitter. It was you and the News Journal. What was that about?
Oh, Chris Boyle hates my guts. He told one of the local coaches that if he ever finds out who I am or sees me, he's going to punch me in the face.
Why?
Because he doesn't like being called out.
Oh, we love calling people
Because
out.
I think I saw you. It was like something about an application. So were you trying to take his job?
No, I was being facetious.
Yeah.
I said, is there an opening for the basketball vacancy, because they don't talk about basketball ever. And then him and Zach Dean started going back and forth, and it was just, and I was
Oh,
like,
that's classic.
By
That's
the
good.
way, Brian Jenkins, who was on Locked
Mhm.
In, and he recently just committed. We had him on before he committed, but he had multiple coaches looking at him in colleges, and we saw that he committed. But I get a text, and the newspaper headline is "Locked In." I don't know if they're trying to steal our mojo, if they're trying to steal our thunder, but they literally had multiple players committed from Mainland for football, and it said these players are locked in. They didn't put 2 ins, but they put 1 in. That was all I needed to get heated. I didn't. So they're on my bad side right now too. Were they even at the game?
no.
They used to have Danny Klein at the studio. Not the studio, the games. I don't know if you remember him. And
Yes,
he
I
used to
do.
tweet out the scores.
Yes.
He was awesome, from what I remember, of course. But
They show up when they feel like it.
yeah.
Talking about being in at games, what's the environment? How many gyms have you been into this season in high school, especially in the 3-8-16? What's like the environment in the different gyms? Is there some better than others? Is there some packed gyms? Is there some empty ones?
Yeah, I mean, obviously the 2 Atlantic Mainland games were
Packed house, right?
unbelievable. Yeah, you couldn't even sit down. It was ridiculous. It was like it used to be.
Mm-hmm.
And but like last night at Spruce Creek, there was maybe, there was a handful of people. It was unbelievable.
Yeah, and that school, by the way, is the highest populated school in the area.
Yeah, what is there, like 3,500 kids
Yeah,
there? It's ridiculous.
crowded. You're
Yeah.
shoulder to shoulder everywhere you walk, unless it's the main auditorium, of course. But
And that's crazy that they can't get 200 kids or 200 parents, 200 kids and parents to go to the game. Like, is just the Atlantic Mainland, is it just the rivalry of this year that they know?
Well, even
It's gonna be a great game.
Seabreeze, I was at a game earlier in the year versus Deltona, and Seabreeze didn't have the greatest record this year, but they still pretty much had a packed gym. I mean, it was nothing like the Atlantic Mainland
Yeah,
game,
sure.
but it was still, there was a lot of people there, even though they're not that good of a basketball team per se.
and I think each team plays their district like a competitor, their rivalry tough. So you're always going to have close games, even when one team is better than the other. For example, Atlantic NSB. Atlantic usually has NSB's number, but tonight NSB won. They were the better team. Do you think the teams are struggling locally, like high school basketball in general, or do you think it's on the come up? Like, do you see a rise or decline in the basketball through just seeing it and taking pictures?
I think that part of it is refereeing. I don't know
Really?
if that's all of it, but you go to a game somewhere else, whether it's Jacksonville, Orlando, or down south, and they let them play rougher and don't call as many fouls.
Mm-hmm.
And so when these kids go and play elsewhere, whether it be in regionals or wherever, then
Get pushed around.
they get pushed around and they don't know how to react to it.
That's crazy. Do you guys know who Eric Lewis is? He's a referee
That
in
sounds-
the NBA. He was a referee of
Oh.
our Atlantic high school games back in high school.
He works at the Daytona Pal too, I believe.
Did he? Or
I
does
think.
now he's an NBA ref. He's like
Yeah.
big time. And I remember when we were juniors and seniors, he was a really good referee, and like we knew he was a really good referee. And our coach even said he's going to be a legit top end NBA referee one day. And like now, TNT, Thunder, Cavs tonight, Eric Lewis is refereeing the game. It's crazy.
Who do you have winning that game?
Cavs.
Okay.
I got Osmond. Any team with Osmond on it, I got him. The New Delhi guys.
So, what does it take to rejuvenate Spruce Creek? What does it take to rejuvenate You said Seabreeze had a pretty good crowd, but to get Seabreeze I don't want to insult anything by saying top-notch team, but we have a group chat, and it's just former players, Lee, Stacy, Robert, and they always say that competition was tougher back then. You had Kyle Clark, you had Nate, you had Jason and DeLand, you had Craig. So why is it that it kind of goes down? And I know you said the reffing, but is there like a solution to it? Because I think you have created a solution for players to get exposed, in a good way exposed, and then for coaches and programs. But is there a solution to the competition or programs?
I think part of it is that kids are allowed to move around so much now that you never know from one year to the next what each school is going to have, or if a coach moves, like when Giddens moved, there's all of a sudden Mainland went from not that great last year to now they're the number 1 seed in the district. So there's so much,
Do you like the player movement, or you don't like it?
I do.
You do? Okay.
Because, if you get into a bad situation and, you don't want to be handcuffed, like when I went to school at Creek, that you went to where you were zoned for. That was it.
Yeah.
You didn't have a choice. If you didn't get along with a coach, too bad.
Yeah.
That was it.
Okay. Crazy.
Sorry, writing a big note. I didn't want to forget this one.
Okay.
What's stopping a high school from creating a super team? We're talking about player mobility, and it sounds dumb when you say it, but why doesn't a group of smart high school players say, I want to win a state championship more than anything? It gives me more exposure because I'm playing in front of more coaches. Why doesn't Beans go to Nick Hurt? Well, Nick Hurt's graduating. But just younger classmen, like for example, the Mainland team's a young team. Go to RJ, go to all the top players and say, hey, let's go to this. Focus on our school, focus on our academics, get good grades, but let's win a state championship and represent Daytona, because if we win a state championship, obviously it means something for programs locally. Is that outrageous?
Nothing's to keep them from doing that.
I think it's a great idea. I like it.
The Golden State Warriors of Daytona.
I like it, actually.
So I don't know if you want to encourage that, and I know coaches aren't allowed to recruit in high school, obviously, quote unquote.
They're not allowed, but they do.
Yeah, so I don't know how to make it happen.
The only thing I would throw out there, there's more than high school basketball. There's more than just basketball for these kids in high school. Maybe they have a girlfriend there. Maybe it's closer to their
What's
work
more
or
important
school.
now, man?
You're talking to high schoolers now. If you want.
No, I know.
It could happen, and in some areas it probably does. But maybe in Daytona, the kids don't take it that serious. They would rather be closer to work, closer to school, closer to the girlfriend. And that could be part of the problem.
Yeah, and parents, and then of course coaches wouldn't allow, or they would talk them out of it because they don't want their program to fail. But we talked about Mainland and Atlantic, and I kind of want to focus on Mainland and give them their credit, their due. They're a big team. Like, they're athletic, they're long. They put, I believe his name, I always forget his last name. Johnny is his first name, right?
Johnny Brown.
Johnny Brown.
Jackie Brown.
I know, it's such a catchy name. I don't know why I forget it. But Johnny Brown, they put him up top, like on a 1-3-1, and just it's so hard to
He's
throw
so
over
long,
him.
yeah.
So how far do you think Mainland can go? Because my honest prediction is I think Mainland has the best chance to win districts. I think Lopez, with Colin, he's probably the best talent. But I think Mainland
They're not
has...
deep.
Yeah, I think Mainland has the better unit. So would you say Mainland is the favorite to win districts?
Yeah, I would say. I mean, I've seen Mainland play a couple bad games this year. So, like tomorrow, for instance, they're playing New Smyrna. If New Smyrna plays like they did tonight and Mainland has an off game, then New Smyrna can, I think beat them. But if Mainland plays like they did against Atlantic in those two games, they have a chance to go kind of far.
See, you have advantage over anybody because you go to all these games. These coaches don't go to every single game. Like, these players don't go to every single game. So you see something that nobody else really sees. And I haven't seen Mainland play poorly or not to their full potential. I've only seen them play Atlantic. And when I see them play, they just seem leaps and bounds ahead of their competition. It seems like, just because of their size and athleticism, but they just gel well because all of them are athletic and all of them are long, so they just all complement each other. So would you say they have a good chance, I'm going to take it a step further, to win a state championship? That's a tough thing to do.
Yeah, that's tough. I mean, any team, like the team that Kevin Knox played for last year, they were unbelievable, and then they have one bad game, and they're out. So, you just never know. But yeah, I mean, if they play to their full potential, they got a chance to get to Lakeland.
They have that one big kid down low. I don't know his name. I haven't had the chance to meet him, but he's got to be 6'8" and just huge.
Probably the football player.
Yeah, he's huge.
And he plays minutes?
Yeah, and he just
starts.
clogs the paint. He just clogs the paint, so you're not going to drive. And when everyone drives, because Atlantic usually penetrates and kicks to get open threes, they just clog the paint the entire time. They're long.
And one thing, defense wins championships.
Yeah, and they have defense. They forced
that's-
Atlantic to take long threes. You cover girls basketball hoops as well? Or is it mainly just boys basketball?
It's mainly boys. I mean, I would love to do, the girls equally,
Mhm.
but it's just, I mean, I have a full-time job.
It's hard.
Running a business. I mean, and it's next to impossible.
You're going to have to hire some workers for 36 hoop scenes. Because you go, and I was talking to Olivia on the way home, it's hard to just go to a couple games and then you go to pretty much every single game. That's pretty hard.
Yeah, I mean, if Anthony doesn't have a game or I'm not working or there's not something else going on, I got a list of every game that's being played that week and
I want to
try to go to as many as I can.
And Spruce Creek girls are in the playoffs, correct?
Correct.
And Jayla had 44
Coach
points
Ham.
and like 10 threes, I believe. She broke the school record.
She's a stud.
Yeah.
When do they play?
Lake Mary Thursday.
Yeah, they play Lake Mary at Lake Mary on Thursday in the first round of regionals.
That's a big
So-
game. That's
I
going to be
know.
a good game.
That was one of our other locked-ins, wasn't it?
Yeah, Coach Ham, I think he's going to Lakeland.
Yeah. Well, I love what you're doing, Coach, and I think what you're doing for the players and coaches is giving them exposure, like I said. And if the News Journal is locked out and they aren't giving recognition to the young athletes that they deserve, I think it's right that. And it's not your duty, it's not your obligation. You're doing it because you love basketball and you just think that these kids deserve it. So I think that's awesome what you're doing for just sports locally. I think it's terrific.
I was going to say real quick, you're in the seat. Cavs. Like him, don't like him.
Don't like them.
Oh, fucking, let's just get this straight.
They're
I'm not a LeBron fan.
They're
I'm
gonna
not a LeBron
They're going to
fan
make
at
the
all.
NBA Finals, though, right? After all these great trades, young team, defenders, shooters. No,
Hopefully not.
you got Milwaukee going all the way to the East.
I'm going to put you on blast. I'm sorry, I love you, but what is it about LeBron that you don't like?
I just don't like him. I don't know what it is. I can't put my finger on it.
You're such a good guy. Like, you're a smart guy. Like, what is it that, like, everybody can have their opinion, and I respect it, of course, but it's just his face? Is it, like, just...
Yes, he's...
His hairline?
Yeah, and I'll give you that.
He's
That's a bad
still-
hairline, but...
Yeah, he's still the best player in the NBA, but the thing
Yes.
is, for his physical abilities, he should... And I didn't say that as a joke earlier. He doesn't assert himself. He doesn't have that killer like Kobe does, or did, or Mike did. He just doesn't have that in him.
Did Kobe or Michael Jordan go to 8 straight finals?
No, they did not.
Oh, wait. And then at 33 years old, were they the best player in the league? No. Michael Jordan was on the Wizards, I believe, right?
Kobe was probably at 33 still the best.
Wait, how old was LeBron at 33? Yeah, we got a
How
producer.
old?
searching.
I'm on it.
Yeah, because LeBron's been the best player in the league for 10 years now.
Nope. Okay.
Negative.
I agree that LeBron doesn't have that killer instinct. Like
I can
that,
argue
or the
this.
killer instinct that Kobe or Jordan did. I can kind of agree with that. But every player, every quarterback wins different. Basketball players past. What LeBron does for his teammates is unmatched. I don't think LeBron... what LeBron does better than Kobe and Jordan is upgrades all their players.
Elevate the players
Yes.
around you.
Yeah, there's just something about LeBron.
To a fault, sometimes.
I'll give you that at
Okay.
some point, but I heard something that was really interesting. When a certain trade happens and you're like, okay, LeBron, we need you to score 50 points. We need you to take over. He's more like Magic Johnson in the aspect of he plays...
He's never saying that in the same
He's better than Magic Johnson. Wait, let me just break this down. He plays in the right way and he elevates others. And what does he do? Gets his career high in assists. He plays better defense than Magic Johnson and
Oh, absolutely.
Michael
That is-
Jordan.
that is
And Michael
what it
Jordan.
was.
Versatile, being able to guard 1 through 5. And on perimeter defense, I'll give Michael Jordan. But even though LeBron did shut down Derrick Rose in the playoffs, he shut down when he was MVP, Derrick Rose, and Paul George, and he just guards 1 through 5. Now he's lacking his first step a little bit, obviously, so defensively he's deteriorating. But defense, I go LeBron. Passing, I go LeBron over Jordan, not Magic. So I'll give Magic to passing. Scoring, I go LeBron. Shooting, I go LeBron. Athleticism, I go LeBron. I think he's the best overall player of all time, but I think his accomplishments will be short of Jordan's. Like, I think his overall numbers will surpass Jordan, but 6 for 6 is what you're always going to hear no matter what. And I understand if you don't like him, but when he made that pass to Kyle Korver, he received tons of hate. But was that not the right basketball play?
It was. But, and everything that you just said, I don't necessarily disagree with. It's just that not having that
Dog.
that I will gut you and
Yeah, and that's been his
and
fault in his
I
entire
do-
career.
And I kind of agree, but sometimes having too much dog is a negative as well. Sometimes Kobe was too hard. If Kobe was laid back a little bit, if Kobe and Shaq could have worked, they win 8 straight championships together. Like, that was it's a positive for Kobe to have that, but it was also a tiny bit of a negative too. And I say that with LeBron. Doesn't have enough dog. Sometimes that hurts him, but sometimes that does help him, if that makes sense.
Yeah, I agree with the Kobe thing. I wasn't happy with him for a while after
Pushing Shaq away.
because
Yeah.
you're right. They could have been to 8 straight finals
8 straight.
easy.
Oh yeah, both of them were in their prime. Especially Kobe was going. He was at the 3rd championship. He was dead in his prime. Kobe was the best player in the world probably then for the next 3, 4, 5 years. And Shaq still had 5 great years. He was really good in Miami. He was 8 straight. They could have won.
Yeah, and I think nobody talks about Michael Jordan was 9 for 27 when he hit that game winner in the finals. But you think of the game winner, but you don't think about how many times he had to shoot that shot to get out of that slump that he was in. And I just think he gets a pass because he didn't have social media. He didn't have cameras around him 24/7 when he was smoking cigars and gambling. And it sounds like I'm a hater of Jordan, but I just think media today is much different. So if LeBron James coughs differently, he's spotted.
All right, producer, break it down.
Well, that crossover though on Jordan. Anyway, 33 was the 2011-2012 season.
Okay.
He averaged 27.9, which is pretty much right where he was at.
Nice.
He,
Kobe for Kobe.
27 and 9.
27.9.
Oh, I'm sorry. Okay.
He had points.
Who won the MVP that season?
I'll get there. He missed quite a bit of time though. He only played in 58 games that year.
Ooh, getting a little hurt there at 33 there, Kobe.
But he played a full season the year before.
Okay.
And he played 78 games the following year
That's
without really losing. He was 27. He had 27.3, and all the stats they were saying like 5.4. Like they're all right in the 5s and the assists, right in the 4 and the
Do you
6.
have a field goal percentage?
Field goal percentage 2.46%, which
46%. And that's
his career is 47.9.
Yeah, so he was.
Yeah, so
efficient.
he was right. Basically, he was Kobe in that year.
But who was the MVP?
Was it Duncan? It's either Duncan or Nash, right?
LeBron James.
Wait, what year is this?
11-12. 2011,
Second
2012.
year. Yeah, that
In
was
Miami.
the second year in
Oh,
Miami.
Yeah.
I didn't even think of Miami years. Duh, that was wow. That was a long time ago.
So
Yeah, 2011, 2012. That was his 30th.
But
I feel so
the
proud.
MVP thing is kind of dumb.
Were you a LeBron fan when he was in Miami?
Yes. No, this is the origin. This is the history of my LeBronness. I'm a diehard New York Knicks fan, so I hated Michael Jordan. I played ball my whole life, high school basketball 4 years. I was decent. I could shoot. So every kid, like even Michael Jordan, there's negative and popular about Jordan. About LeBron. Back in the day, everyone loved Jordan. So I'm one of the kids that did not like Michael Jordan. So when LeBron James was a rookie and I was like, oh my gosh, he's going to be great. He's going to be an all-timer. I was like, I'm jumping on the bandwagon right away. First game he played at Sacramento on ESPN. I watched it live at 10:30 at night, and I've been down since day one. That's my LeBron James story.
Producer's raising his hand, so I'll
Okay.
wait until he's done at that point.
I was just handed a piece of paper from our other producer over there, JT Money.
JT Money.
So we were looking at Kobe at 33, right? So Kobe at 35, he played 6 games, and then 36 was 35, then he was done at 37.
Achilles just
Right. So the paper I have in my hand here is Jordan. His MVPs, his MVP seasons.
he has 5 of them.
Yeah. His last MVP season. Do you remember what year that was?
97, 98,
How old was he?
31.
35.
Damn.
He was 33. He won MVP at 96 at 33 and 98 at 35.
Here's my point. It leads right into my point. LeBron faces,
So he was the best player
Listen.
at 35.
LeBron faces an all-time great team. Now, a couple things. Michael Jordan played the Utah Jazz. They never won a championship, even when Jordan was out. He played the Blazers. Did they ever win a championship?
Not during the Jordan
He
time.
played
It was 25 years
Charles-
ago.
The 2 years they missed, though, was the Rockets with Hakeem Olajuwon,
Yep.
Clyde
Yeah, he
Drexler.
never played them.
Right, but
And to my point, he leaves, he retires, and...
you're talking about the Utah Jazz not winning the championship.
Yeah.
So I mean, they had teams to play to.
Yeah, and he comes back, but when he leaves, they only lose 2 less games without him during the regular season. LeBron James leaves Cleveland to go to Miami. They are the worst basketball team of all time. All time. And let's talk... Am I getting a head nod?
Who's
Dang, the Magic. They are pretty bad. But...
who's the owner? Who's the owner of the Cavs? I mean, didn't we discuss
Yeah,
this?
but LeBron is
He's
the
awesome.
Cavs. But my point is, he's playing an all-time great team in the Warriors. So if he overcomes, and let's just go out on a limb here, and this is definitely against the odds. He's not the favorite to win. If he wins this year, does he get the credit from you? He beats Durant, Curry, Klay Thompson, Draymond, arguably 4 Hall of Famers right there. Does that get the head nod from you? With the team that his second best player is Kevin Love.
The second best player is not Kevin Love. It's Osman. I'm telling you guys.
Donnie
It
Osmond.
doesn't get the
He's
approval
awesome.
from you? I'm not saying you have to love the guy, but just,
I'm not saying he's not great.
yeah.
I just, I don't like how he's wired. It's just he rubs me the wrong way.
It happens.
Hey, no.
Who's-
Nothing you can do there.
Who do you have number 2, by the way, for best player? KD?
Currently or
Yeah,
all time?
currently. So we all agree LeBron is number 2, Kevin Durant. It's hard because let's remember when he was in the Oklahoma City Thunder, Steph Curry, when he was on his MVP run, was considered the second best. And some people were even comparing his stats to Jordan. So would you say it's still Durant, though?
Probably Durant or Westbrook.
Oh, he has Westbrook up there.
Westbrook is a great player, guys.
He has the Thunder, by the way, beating the Warriors this year.
The Thunder in the NBA Finals. You heard it here first.
The craziest thing. We've debated back and forth all day.
You heard it here first.
It's Cavs, Warriors, and then I won't give that final prediction. But is there anything else you want to shout out, plug for people that are just hearing this, maybe first heard about 386 Hoop Scenes, so we can all get that information?
Chris from Volusia Elite is having a combine
Ooh.
coming soon, and he's going to send out invitations for people for 2019 through 2022, which is going to be everybody that's in high school for this upcoming year. So
How do we get a hold of Chris? Do you know? Chris, how do we get a hold of you? We got you in the studio.
Instagram, Volusia Elite Basketball.
Volusia Elite Basketball on Instagram. So if you're interested, you can DM him, leave a message.
Slide right into those DMs.
Yeah. Okay. Anything else, sir?
no, that's about it.
It was an absolute pleasure to have you on, but we have to get locked in.
Of course.
And
He should know the drill by now.
I think you
mean,
do know the drill, right?
You don't have to.
Yeah, we get locked in, and I know.
Max likes to spring it upon our guests and not warn
That's how you
them
make it
about.
authentic. That's how you get a good
But
answer.
You just
know?
don't give them a chance to think, you know.
Yeah, all this pressure's on me. I feel like LeBron. But,
Oh.
All right, let's go.
So am I Osmond? Can I please be Osmond? All right. Can I set
You're
the
always
mic?
first.
I'm
Remember
always
we
first.
established this.
Yeah, I'm like taking this lead. Okay, Max. So we're like kind of 5, 4, 3 days away. I remember it was like I think it was Valentine's, our first ever episode.
DeMarcus Cousins gets traded to the Pelicans.
Yep. We're 1 year anniversary. We can actually put that down. This is the 1 year anniversary show. So I'm pretty pumped. I'm pretty excited for the Locked In podcast. We have made strides and bounds, whatever that analogy is, producer.
Leaps and bounds.
Yep, there you go. No, it's been a great year. Live events. We've had multiple legitimate athletes. Amanda Nunes, Michael Davis, Mike Perry. We've had so many great guys, so many great guests. 1 year down, I think we got 29 more years left in us.
Wow.
So just throwing it out there. So Sean, 20 more 9 years of producing. You ready?
You have to wear that same shirt every episode until then.
I'm gonna have to go to that Spreadshirt site and get another shirt if that's gonna be 29 years.
How do we? What's the Spreadshirt site?
Shop.spreadshirt T-Shirts.com/lockedin with 2 N's.
Yes, I bought shirts yesterday.
That reminds me, you're
The
going to have to
premium.
get one. A locked-in shirt, I'll get you one. It's on me.
Wow.
Because I love you so much.
That would be cool. You
Besides
all the
LeBron.
games were locked in?
Yeah, I like
Max won't even buy a microphone stand, but he'll buy you a shirt.
I mean, let's just, I'll just pretend that LeBron James is your favorite athlete. And then I can do it. But
It's gonna have a 23 on the back.
I like it. By the way, for
But
the,
you can say it's Jordan.
for the mic stands, I got it, by the way, too.
And I'm just giving you.
Oh, I know, I'm just saying, I got it. That actually reminded me. I almost forgot. All right, you want to go?
Sure.
All right, let's get it.
All right, locked
All
in.
right. My locked in is LeBron James and the Cleveland Cavaliers will not make it to their 4th straight finals this year.
Blasphemy!
Do I still get a T-shirt?
Yeah, I love you. But yeah, you get one.
If Osman gets hurt, they might not make it. But if he's healthy, him and LeBron will go back to the NBA Finals.
Can I just ask you, who do they lose to? I'll try not to get into it too much, but who do you see coming out of the East then?
I think Boston can beat him.
Lost.
Yeah, I do.
Who guards LeBron?
Jalen Brown?
That discussion's over.
Jason Tatum? The worst thing
Yeah,
is,
one of the 2 young guys.
I just don't see it.
No, but like I said, respect your opinion.
Yeah,
So
they're not going to win the finals if they play Golden State. Probably not. I'm a realist.
you said Cavs 7, so you switching up on me already?
I'm a diehard LeBron fan. I will always root for the Cavs in 7. I think they're going to play the Thunder. But if the Warriors make it, it's going to be tough.
Everyone's playing for second, no matter who
Yeah.
your favorite team is, in my opinion.
Sure.
Gotta have faith. All right, my
The biscuit.
locked in.
Gotta have
It's
I was
It's
actually going George
probably
Michael.
one of my broadest locked-ins I've ever had. It's not like a specific this will happen. Well, it kind of is. So just listen to it. LeVar Ball,
Yes, sir.
he just came out with water. Have you heard about that?
Yes. Did we get a price on
Big
it?
Baller brand water. It's $69.99. I'm playing. But my point is
You had me.
I know. I
I would have believed it.
I know.
I was believing it.
My point being is somebody who came from being just a high school dad and then eventually a college dad now has his own water. He's coaching teams overseas. He's on CNN debating with the president. Like things that we never thought could happen has happened. And I think you're doing, I'm not saying you're LeVar Ball by any means. What I'm saying is what you're doing with, that's a compliment by the way. But what you're doing with 386 Hoop Scenes, I think, is changing the game as far as taking initiative where if you don't feel like local athletes and programs are getting the support and love they deserve, you're taking it in your own hands and you're able to give these young athletes exposure. And I think what you're doing will not only build and like progress tremendously, I think it's going to transcend a lot of other areas that the News Journal isn't going to those high school games, isn't writing. So I think you're going to see a lot more of what you're doing, and it all started with 386 Hoop Scenes.
Appreciate that.
Yeah, I'm serious.
So it's
Yeah,
awesome.
I mean, even kids from like Taylor Trudeau from that plays for Outdoor Christian, like he messages me on Instagram and says how they don't have anything over there, like their basketball's pretty much dead there as far as anybody knowing who anyone
Exactly.
is, and so it's just kind of filters out.
Yeah, because you understand what it's like from a dad's perspective of a player, seeing the coaches and programs firsthand. So I think what you're doing is amazing. And
It's awesome. I love it. I use social media as like my newspaper. I wake up in the morning. I go to Locked In, see what's going on,
Yeah.
see all the love and the feedback. I go to Bleacher Report. The third thing, I swear, I go to 386 Hoop Thing. It's like I got to see what's going on, what are the scores, what kid's playing good. I love it. I'm
so
down.
lastly, Instagram and Twitter is 386 Hoop Scenes, and your website is 386hoopscenes.com.
Correct.
All right, so make sure you guys check it out. Thank you for coming on. You're always welcome, of
Appreciate
course. I think when we have like the playoffs in high school sports, we'll just have like 386 Hoop Scenes editions kind of thing, and just keep breaking it down.
Love it, love it. Download Apple Podcast, Dunkin' Donuts gift card for me. Yeah,
And
follow
for the-
Max on Instagram.
For the
He's on it a
Android
lot.
users, I guess you can't subscribe when you are on Stitcher Radio, but you can show support by liking our Facebook page
Yes.
and liking our Locked In community, which is a group Facebook thing.
It's a Facebook group.
Facebook group.
Max is new to the whole Facebook
Yes.
thing, so it's a Facebook group. We all
Yep.
can get together, talk,
debate.
debate what we're talking
LeBron's
about.
better than
Yeah.
Jordan.
Khabib
So
beat
tell me
Tony
we can
Ferguson.
we can debate that.
There we go.
And so yeah, just make sure you like the page and join the group, and then we can all discuss it, and we can talk about everything that we talked about on the show.
Sounds good.
Okay.
And like
Sounds good.
always, stay
Locked in.
Yeah. You now locked in with the best. We ain't rocking with the rest. And when it's game time, we gon' put you to the test. Come to ball, we hitting it, kicking it, though. We dribbling, passing it, though. We running over. It's the ring that we flip you in. So what's the news? You want the scoop? You gotta keep it locked. To David Max podcast through your speaker box. What's poppin', my friend? You know the drop in. The only thing left to do is keep it locked in.